Hey, comic book fans, welcome back to Comic Frontline and Fans. You're with me, Mike Spider Slayer, getting ready to do another installment of TV time, and we're going to be talking about today the season finale of The Walking Dead, otherwise known as A. That's right, guys. So, season 4 of The Walking Dead comes to an end, and it comes to an end in a very weird fashion. It comes to an end with our heroes or group all stuck in this train car. What is that? I don't know what to expect. That's what leaves you with a cliffhanger and Rick basically saying, "You screwed with the wrong people." And I'm like, okay, this is different. As soon as our heroes get to Tiberius, everything falls apart like immediately. Like immediately, Rick knows that there's something wrong at Tiberius when it comes to the watch, the riot gear, the poncho. And I'm kind of thinking in this episode, why are these guys wearing all these things? For fun? I don't know. Do you just walk around with riot gear for fun? I guess you do. It's the zombie apocalypse, but I was like, okay. But that was the end. Let's talk about what this episode really was about. Um, this episode really came full circle with all the character development, and it ends off with Rick. In the first half of this season, we got to witness the fall of the prison. We get to see the demise of the governor. Lots of action. And then this time around, in the second half of this season, the show focused on heavy character development, telling the story of each individual character that happened to be pretty much in Rick's group. And of course, it ends up with Rick. Do I agree with this direction of the show? I think for a TV show, I think it's a little hard to do, and at times they did it right, and at times they didn't do it quite so good. This episode worked out well. The episode with the two girls worked out well, but when it came to like Daryl and Bethany, I think it was a miss. But this episode, it was pretty nice because it featured flashbacks of Herschel. You got to see Herschel back if you were a fan, and which was cool. Which was because Rick would always flash back to Herschel's advice. And in the beginning of this episode, you get to see Rick against the car. He's all bloody, and you're wondering, well, what's going on? Something major has happened here. And you know, based off of past episodes, that eventually it was going to lead up to that point. So in this episode, you get to see Rick and Michonne and Carl just hanging out, of course, just trying to survive. And what happens is Joe and his gang, or the Hunters, or if you want to call them the Claimers, whatever have you, pretty much based off of the comic books. What happens is they see Rick and they realize it's Rick who's the one that killed their buddy, their partner, and they have a gun to his head. And Michonne is, held captive. Carl is held captive in the car. And Daryl winds up coming up to him and basically saying, hey, they're good people. And let's just say that it was all going to come to an end here. This was straight out of the comic books. Carl almost gets raped. Rick almost gets killed. And you come to this point where the light switches for Rick and it becomes farm guy Rick, the guy who, was kind of timid, and he goes into no holds bar Rick, like he's going to kick everyone's ass, do whatever he can to protect his son. And he went out and bit the guy's neck, and he's bleeding all over the place, and that turns the tide for the Claimers. They get destroyed. They just get killed just right off the bat. But it was a crazy scene again with Carl almost getting raped and all that other stuff. But it really represents like who are the creatures here? What is the Walking Dead? Is it Rick? Or I mean, is it the humans, or is it the creatures themselves? Anybody's a monster here, and it's kind of no different when once our group recovers from this and Daryl rejoins the group, and you get to see a great moment between Daryl and Rick about them being family, being brothers. They wind up going to Terminus, and which obviously means end of the line. And right away, Rick and the crew doesn't trust this. They have a bad feeling about this. They go through the back way. These people interrogate them. They look at their weapons. They're trying to make them fit in, but obviously this is not a bad place. And I had a feeling about this from last week's episode, and they wind up in this car all together, and they happen to meet with Glenn and Maggie and the rest of the crew. So very weird cliffhanger, and very interesting to see where this is all going to go. I'm not too sure. I said the cannibalism thing in the past. I'm not sure if that's where we're going here, but I don't know what's up with this train car. It's very weird. I gotta give the overall episode a 4. I like the action that it provided. I like the moments between the flashbacks with Herschel and Rick remembering him having to be, you don't need this gun. They only get in the way, to Rick using all that stuff that he needs to get. And I liked all that aspect, and I liked the action. The cliffhanger was just a little bit weird. Everything kind of just fell apart real quick with Terminus. It was like we weren't even here 5 seconds and everything just blew up, overall season, I thought the season was, I want to say it was a 4 at best, maybe a 3 3/4 stars out of 5. I thought there was a lot of slow episodes. Some of them were good, but if you're not a fan of certain characters, it might turn you off to the season. If you're not a Bethany fan or whatnot, I think if you're a fan of certain characters, you're going to like their individual stories, but if you're not, it's a waste of episode for you. The first half of the season I thought was fantastic. I thought it was flawless when it came to the whole flu spreading around the prison, the demise of the governor, even showing those couple episodes of the governor I liked. And then the second half of the season was just all character development within Rick's group until we get to this climax and cliffhanger. Again, we don't see Bethany in this episode, so we don't know what happens to her. At this point, I know it's not the Hunters or the Claimers, whatever you want to take them. Again, I'm going to stick to my original prediction, which I thought was Gabriel. Gabriel is the priest. He's the one that runs the funeral home. That was his car. I feel that he took Bethany. He's the one who has her right now. And eventually they're going to come cross paths. I don't know when. I don't know how. But that's what's going to happen. Speculation with Terminus. This could be the new Alexandria. If you read the comics, this could be my prediction of what happens. This could be their new safe haven, which leads to coming across the hilltop, which come across the King Ezekiel's place, the kingdom, and then leading into the Saviors. That's where I think the show is eventually going. But I don't know how this Terminus, all the people that live here, what's going to happen with them. So again, I give the overall season 3 3/4, pushing 4 stars out of 5 stars. This episode was 4 out of 5, and we'll see where this goes next season, for season number 5 already. It's hard to believe that we've been almost watching this show for 5 years. So guys, let me know what you thought in the comments below, and as always, guys, thank you for watching Comic Frontline, and until the next review, this is Mike Spider Slayer signing off. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you soon. Bye.